Welcome to Hard Beautiful Journey, where we embrace vulnerability as our superpower and let courage light our path. I'm Tiff Carson, here to share heartfelt stories of healing, grief, and resilience. Each week, I'll talk with guests from experts to everyday heroes about their journeys through adversity. Together, we'll uncover the beauty that emerges from life's challenges and how each experience can spark profound growth. Join us on this courageous journey of connection and transformation. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is the pain I'm carrying even mine? That's the question I want you to hold as you listen to this episode today. Because I'm inviting you into a conversation with someone whose work helps people uncover the core beliefs they've been living by, beliefs planted in childhood that now manifest as anxiety, self-sabotage, burnout, and even physical illness. My guest is Kate Semeniuk, a rapid transformational therapist who's helped over 600 people rewrite the scripts that were keeping them stuck. She doesn't just help people manage pain, she helps them transform it. Whether you've felt trapped in unhealthy patterns, burdened by old trauma, or simply exhausted from trying to fix yourself, this episode is a breath of fresh, healing air. Kate's approach aligns so beautifully with my Healing Heart Journey framework because she helps people find the root, feel the truth, and finally release it. And her own journey to this work, it's just as powerful. So let's begin where all healing starts, and that's with the truth. Welcome to the show, Kate.
Thank you, Tiff, for such a wonderful introduction. That was really nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm really, really grateful that you are here today. There is a lot that you have to share with us that is very relevant to what's going on in my life right now. So I am just as interested in learning about it as my listeners will be. So before we get started, can you take me back to the moment when you first knew that you were meant to help people heal, and what was happening in your life at that time, and how did that clarity show up for you?
Yes, it was in 2020. However, I've heard about it from other people that I was meant to help others many, many years before.
Mm-hmm.
But my deep realization, personal realization, came in 2020. That was when we were all isolated. Canada was pretty strict with rules. And so we had to stay at home, and having two beautiful children, a wonderful husband, I finally realized that the problem is not in the outside conditions.
Mm-hmm.
The pain is coming from within. Before that, my thoughts were all around something is hurting me. Someone is the cause of my pain. Whether it's my childhood is the cause, or it's my parents, or it's the government, or my husband needs to change. So I was outwardly focused. And in 2020, I realized that it's probably something within my mind and within my own healing that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. That was the deep realization that I need to do something. And that's only a couple of months into that healing, I realized, wow, it's probably truth what I have heard from others, that this is my calling to help others.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I know that you work with people's most triggered issues. What was one of your own triggers that led you to RTT and has changed your life forever?
When the things are okay on the outside, you still are not happy. That was the trigger that I realized that, well, if everything is okay on the outside, why am I still not feeling good enough? Mm-hmm. Why am I pushing myself to do something that I don't even want? Why am I still pleasing if I don't even need to? Why am I still living in the past if I don't need to. So those are my personal things. I realized that there is nothing but me. There is no one but me can go inwards and find what's happening. And that's when I started to do the therapy, the talk therapy, the traditional psychotherapy. And I started to realize that, okay, I talk about it. It's beautiful. I do have insights. Why am I not changing anything within my behaviors? Why am I still, after a couple of days, drifting back to the familiar patterns? That's when I started to just Google and look like what is there in the mind. And I started to learn that there is a subconscious mind that is so powerful.
So powerful. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
I know, right? 90 to 95% of our mind. So that's why what was overriding. I knew the theory. I just didn't know how it will evolve into practice, actually. The practice of new behaviors, the practice of new reactions, responses. And that's how I started to be very interested in the emotional mind, in the mind of beliefs and unconscious thoughts. That's what led me to be interested in hypnotherapy.
So RTT uncovers beliefs that are formed in early childhood. What's something that most people don't realize about how powerful those early years are and how they still shape us as adults?
Yes, usually a lot of beliefs, limiting beliefs, are forming on in the age where we are still cannot explain things to ourselves. That's why there is so much frustration for people who believe, I know I'm good enough. Why don't I feel good enough? I know I'm worthy. Why don't I feel worthy and act from the place of worthiness? It's because when we are forming our primal core limiting beliefs, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not safe, they're coming in the age approximately between the age of 2 and 7. Which means that at that moment, we are still limited in the language, we're still limited in the logical assumptions and conclusions. We cannot explain to ourselves that it's not about us. That what's happening outside, it's not our unworthiness, it's not our fault. So the child cannot explain, they put it on themselves. Children put it on themselves. It must be me. It must be I'm the problem.
Is it because they don't have the verbal language yet to verbalize what they're feeling?
And there is no explanation. No one actually comes in and tells the child, you know what? Parents are fighting here. I want you to know that you're so loved and so safe, and it's not about you. It's not often we hear that from our parents. When people are separating and the child is 5 or 4, no one even explains to the child what's happening in most cases. And so the child cannot explain. They only see the emotional, the energy between the parents, or they are noticing the absence of one parent. So they believe, I am not good enough. I am abandoned. They abandoned me. They rejected me. So we put it like on ourselves, even though when I talk to clients who are adults already, they say, I know it's not about me. I know it was nothing to do with me, but somehow I still feel it. That's because there is the missing information, I would say. The cause of our emotional turmoil is the missing information in childhood. If we take 2 clients who have gone through a very similar traumatic experiences, a client who had a support and explanation in childhood will have less consequences or less patterns, unhealthy patterns, than the person who had the same traumatic experience but no support and no explanation.
Okay.
I've noticed that in my clients.
Have you?
Yes.
This gives me, I wasn't even going to go here with this, but I want to, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
So I am divorced. My ex and I got divorced a couple of years ago. When we made the decision to separate, we We are really good co-parents, and I'm very proud of us for that. But we've made the decision from the beginning to have open conversations with our kids about what was happening and why it was happening. They still saw sadness. They still saw those feelings. I never hid my crying from them because I wanted them to know that this is hard. This moment in our lives is hard for me too. It's hard for your dad. Um, we have remained friends. And I actually just had a conversation with my two boys driving yesterday. Is that harder for you, seeing your dad and I being friends? Like, does it confuse you more than, us not talking to each other? And like, so having those conversations, does that help the situation and how they can speak about things? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, is that like good for them or not good for them?
It is good for them. It is, because they know that it's not about them.
Mm-hmm.
That you divorced and separated, not because of the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but because of your personal reasons for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When how I can't tell you even how often I hear, we go to the regression because hypnotherapy involves a regression to childhood memories.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask clients, we go to that memory when parents separate. Dad is leaving, mom is gone. My parents are fighting and talking about divorce, whether it's a nonverbal or they actually understand already, they're teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask them, what do you feel, believe, and think at that time? And they say, I have to fix it. It must be me. I'm the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And because parents tend to not explain to the kids the reason for the divorce,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't want to keep their relationship together after that. Very often, right? If it's a fight or it's an argument or it's a different dysfunctional separation, kids believe, I'm the fixer. I need to fix it. If I can't, it means I'm the problem. It must be me. They divorce because of me.
Mm-hmm.
And if they know that it's not, they keep their own sense of worth.
Mm-hmm.
We are still loved. We are still okay. Mom and dad still find it's such an incredible example for kids that after separation, after argument, after divorce, people can still live co-parent, or they still can remain friends. I believe this is one of the most wonderful experiences. And those clients who had this, do you know what they tell me? They tell me, my parents separated when I was 8, but I had such great support. They stayed friends.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't affect me at all.
Mm-hmm. Was there
It
still
might
a
be
sense of sadness, though, in those kids?
absolutely. I saw mom crying. I saw dad was drinking, for example, right? I saw them being in pain, but I saw them still keeping it together. And I knew that it wasn't about me. So it didn't affect and it didn't impact my belief system that much. While clients who don't, that impacted it. I'm abandoned, I'm rejected, I'm the problem, now I'm going to fix. And so we become pleasers, we become, we want to be perfect. We want to seek that validation. We still are afraid of abandonment. So there is if anyone is listening right now, if you have an honest conversation with your child about what's happening in your life, and of course, you talk to a 5-year-old a little bit differently than you talk to a 15-year-old.
Age appropriate, yeah.
Yes. Just letting them know that it's not about them. That they are equally unconditionally loved, even if parents are not together.
So
the child will have a path of a better outcome, for sure. 100%.
Do you think that those parents have to make a conscious decision to set aside their ego and their own pain in order to do that?
Exactly. Because when we have kids, it's like universe gives us a desire, but tells the price later for that desire. isn't
Oh,
it?
yes, it's so true.
Every mom experienced that, right? We have this
Mhm.
beautiful bundle of joy. And then when they grow up, it comes with so many different, deep, hard, difficult, vulnerable conversations.
Mhm.
And yes, ego aside, love in place.
Mm, mhm.
Ego aside, we can definitely, as I said, go walk out our ego in different other situations.
Yes. Exercise it out of ya.
Exercise it out, yeah,
Yeah.
and crying, right? For example,
Mhm.
like crying, like it. I'm definitely not against hiding the feelings from kids. I'm about giving them the understanding that if mom is crying, you are still loved.
Mhm.
If
I
mom
had
is
that.
sad,
I had that once where there was something that did happen between their dad and I after we were separated, and my heart was broken, and I was just like, and they saw me crying, and they I could see it in them. I could see it in their body language and in the way they were looking at me that they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's something that we did," because it was something that happened when they were with him. And I distinctly knew in my soul and in my brain and in my body, I was like, they need to know right now. This has nothing to do with them. And I sat down with all three of them and I just said, this has nothing to do with you. What happened this weekend has nothing to do with you. Mom has my heart is really sad right now, but it has nothing to do with you. And they were like, and you could just see their shoulders just like drop,
exactly.
right? And their body language changed. And then they're like, okay, see ya. Gonna go play now.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
That I believe that every child would benefit so much from their parents just saying one simple phrase.
Hmm.
You are loved no matter how I feel.
Hmm.
My feelings are not your responsibility,
Hmm.
and it's not about you.
Hmm.
Actually, my life, my feelings, my decisions, my reactions and behaviors are never about you. And so when the child knows that, they start to learn naturally to separate. Because if we know until the age of 6, the mom and the child is like one
Hmm.
energy field, right? Mom's ears are kids' ears, like, right? So it's very connected. And so naturally they start to separate, which is a very healthy process
Hmm.
until they're 21, fully emotionally separated, knowing that I'm my own entity and mom is her own human being and personality. That's a beautiful journey. I think that every child needs that.
Hmm.
And just going, we don't see the results from that language and for that communication until they are about 35, 40, when they have their own kids.
Is that when it starts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember when my kid started to be a teenager, I was like, I love my mom so much. I don't know how they did it.
Mine
It's
actually started at 6 months when I couldn't get my child to not be attached to me. And I was just like, "How did you do this? I don't understand."
yes, right. So we start. So we usually want to see the results of our parenting and communication right away. We
Mhm,
want to, but that happens inert.
mm.
They will have their deepest realizations closer to the age of 40, between 30 to 40. They will understand when they have their own kids, their own responsibilities. They're like, oh,
When they
my
start
mom did.
driving.
Yeah. It's like, mom, wow, like mom was
Uh-huh.
good. Like she did the best she could in
Yep.
that situation because we start to notice our own behaviors. We become more aware. I
Mhm.
would say between 20 and 30, we're like sampling life, sampling, playing with it.
Sample. Yeah, exactly.
And between 30 to 40, 45, we start to become more aware about our own behaviors, right? And so we start to notice and understand like, wow, like my parents did the best they could with the resources they had. So that communication really has a beautiful impact. I see that because I work with clients who are older now, adults,
Mhm.
but they talk about their childhood and I see the impact.
Mm.
That's why I noticed that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we are going back to the childhood memories and sometimes we go to the memory, by the way, and the client says, I'm okay. I know I'm loved. So even through the pain and the sadness, if the child knows that it's not about me, I'm not the problem of their pain.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful outcome when they grow up. It's
Can
more
you walk
confidence,
us
more self-esteem.
Oh, sorry. Can you walk us through what actually happens in a session with you? What happens in there, and what does someone experience emotionally, physically, or spiritually during that session?
When clients come to me, they usually bring the problem. When people come to me and say, I just want to try hypnotherapy because I'm curious, then I usually send them home. It's like, come to me when you have a problem. Because if you don't have a problem, right, the mind will be very unfocused.
Mhm.
So people bring me the pain, grief, relationship problems. Actually, three things: relationship, health, money.
Mm.
People come to me with relationship, which is relationship towards yourself as well, which is
Mhm.
self-love and self-esteem. Relationship with others, social anxiety, relationship, romantic intimacy. Then health is when the health burnout, when the body starts to talk, and money,
Mm.
which is fear of safety issues, money blocks. When clients come to me, I ask them, what do you want? What's the problem? And what do you want? How does that look like? Because people say, I just want to be happy. And I was like, how often do you want to be happy?
Mhm.
And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, I understand it's not 100%. Well, 80% happy? So that's interesting to ask them, how often do you want to be calm? How
Yep.
often do you want to be at peace? Because life happens.
Mhm. Mhm.
Life is there outside. So when people bring me the problem, we talk about for 20 minutes, maybe about what is happening, where are the triggers, where are the symptoms. It's mostly a very surface conversation
Mhm.
because usually people cannot access their subconscious mind right away. So
Mhm.
they're just talking on a level of symptoms and triggers.
Mhm.
When we go into the session, it's a light, relaxed state. People are not asleep. People are they remember everything. It's like a meditation, I would say.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some people go way deeper. And they kind of, I didn't feel my hands, I didn't feel my feet. But some people are very aware. They're like, I was just there inside of me, but I was absolutely in my body
Mhm.
fully. We go to the memories, events, or scene that could contribute or became the root cause of the problem. And then we go and investigate. You know how detectives, they look at different scenes and memories, they ask questions, same what we do in investigation part. That's I call regression, the hypnotic regression. This is an emotional part. This is a painful part. This is a part of loss of triggered beliefs. But we do find, when did the person solidified or made the belief about themselves? When did they make the decision to please? When did they put their worth into their work, into their relationship? So anxious, for example, where did they become anxious and worried about the future or regretting the past? When we find that, I help clients connect. Hey, subconscious mind doesn't know time and it loves what's familiar. I want you to look at your life right now. How is this belief that you can only be happy if someone else is happy? Can you see how it's showing up right now? They're like, oh yeah, I can see that. I look at their belief, for example, I'm not safe at night. When something happened to them at night, for example, whether it's an abuse or they heard a lot of screaming at night. I was like, can you look at this? You've started to believe you're not safe and you're not safe at night. Can you now see the root cause of these nightmares and insomnia?
Mhm.
Because your subconscious mind still holds the same belief because its job is to not know time. So it can recreate for you any habit, any skill, any knowledge very fast. That's why it doesn't know time. But it also will hold everything you've made, all the decisions you made about yourself. When we do that, they're like, yes, I can see that. I was like, let's now reframe it. Let's bring your mind to the present. What is different now? And so we do the third part of the session is where we start to reframe, bring the mind to the present. What is available to you right now? What is different right now? And usually people say, well, I have a wonderful family. I'm safe. I'm not in that situation. So people are kind of bringing their mind like, oh, this is so different now. I don't have to do the same things as I did at 5 or at 8. That's not me anymore. And we go into the healing. And the healing is when we actually like bring the child back. It's an inner child healing. We might be talking with a Gestalt therapy. We can be talk to the hurter. We can integrate some new beliefs. Think about the possibility and resources. We can find the purpose of the problem. Is it punishing you, protecting you, giving you attention? So the last part of the panel, it's like a healing part. And then I make the recording. I would say it's a rewiring, neuroscience part. That's when people understand. I make them the recording that is like a self-hypnosis personalized meditation. They listen to it for 21 to 30 days for 15 minutes only. They listen to it every day to program their mind for what they want. That's the journey.
And now I know I need to go on a journey with you.
I love it too. And the first time I tried it for myself, I was like, oh, this is the course in psychotherapy.
I'm going to be booking a session with you after this because I got something I need to talk to you about.
We do.
I love that description of what it looks like, because a lot of people don't do things because they're scared of the unknown, of what a session even looks like or could feel like. And now you've given a beautiful description of how you work with people and that it won't kill you. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, because people do have, and I actually love the more challenging it is, the more I love it. Because when people come to me, it's like, I'm so scared. And the insight and the wonder and the surprise that they feel after the session, like, oh, this is completely different from what I thought. I love that. I love that people gained a completely different perspective of a hypnotherapy than what they thought when they came to see me.
So one of your core beliefs is that people deserve to live free of struggle and unhealthy patterns. But for someone that's listening right now who's in a really, really dark place, they might not believe that yet. What would you want them to hear today?
That there is only one thing that we can be absolutely confident in, and it's change. So nothing is permanent. It's a rule of the universe. It's the rule of the universe. We can't go against that rule. Change is something that is always happening. It might not seem like right now because of that missing information, that healing part, right? That insight for the person that I don't have to live the same as I lived yesterday. But before you have that realization, yes, we will probably repeat the yesterday. In some sort, we will repeat the yesterday. But we need to know that change is the only thing that is, and inner change, I would say, is the only thing that we have control over. You can't control your childhood. You can't control your past. You can't change it. There is no way you can go back. There is no store, as I said to my client, there is no store you can go and buy yesterday. And also, there is no store that you can go and buy tomorrow. The only thing you can do is you can take care of now, and that's how you take care of tomorrow. That's it. So all I would say that person is, change is the only thing that you have. You know that, because even if people lived in a huge turmoil and abuse and pain, if they are right now not with the abuser, they definitely have a choice. If they still live with the abuser that they grew up with, they have a choice. They have hands, feet, and they're tall now,
Mm-hmm.
they can open the door and leave, even if it's absolutely unknown situation.
Mm-hmm.
Subconscious mind loves what's familiar, and it will hold on to the familiar, even if the familiar is the biggest pain.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is how we stay in the abusive relationship, because we believe that's all I know. So people who are now in pain, they need to understand that they are not 3 feet tall anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're now 5, 6 feet tall, which means that they are not dependent. This is like an inner growing up, I would say. This is the healing that needs to be done. Search, keep searching for different methods. Keep looking. There is so much information. I think there is this. We live in the times where information is free.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go to the library to buy a book or to get a book. You can just put on the YouTube video, and it's like a whole university of psychology and therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And podcasts like these, same.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there.
You used a word.
Find
You used a word that is very powerful as well. So change, absolutely, but choice.
Yeah.
Choosing. And that is something that over the last couple of weeks, I've even been helping some people walk through some really hard times. And at the core of it, they have to choose.
Yes.
They have to choose to want things to be better. They have to make that choice, and they're the only ones that can do that.
Yes. And choice always happens. If we choose to stay in the familiar, we're also choosing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just unconsciously. There are conscious choices and unconscious choices. And the difference between them is that you're more in control of dealing with the outcomes. When you make an unconscious choice to stay in the pain, now you're fully helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's going to happen is more pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or some unpredictable situations. When you have a conscious choice, you know at least the direction you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a difference. We do make choices all the time. To not do anything is also a choice.
It is.
Yeah.
So what's your experience with depression?
Yeah. Depression is, sometimes people come to me, they say, I have depressed states.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of people come into me in deep, deep depression. What I have noticed, based on the childhoods, based on the stories that they tell me, right? It's like they've lost hope. They gave up on hope. So they've been hurt so many times that they gave up. And when we give up on hope, we disconnect, right? More from ourselves, from the world. For example, I tried to connect, and it didn't work out. I'm not even going to try.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little giving up on hope,
Mm-hmm.
giving up on choosing love, giving up on choosing in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have noticed with the clients. This deep, deep sadness inside.
How do you work with them on that?
Yeah, we do go the same experience, the same journey, finding out where did they form that feeling or that belief about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worthless. There's something wrong with me. I realize that with depression, there is always these beliefs. There is something wrong with me. I'm different. I'm weird. Like, I don't deserve to connect to people.
Mm-hmm.
I am not liked. People don't love me. No one wants me. I'm not important. I'm not special. These childhood beliefs. And then we'd go and I ask them, look at that, because they go to the childhood memory. I was like, I want you to open your palms and look at this girl or this boy. Like, look at them. They're 8. Look at them. Do you remember how you looked like at 8? Is there anything wrong with that child? Usually they're like, oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just wanted attention or they just wanted love. Was there any of their fault what was happening around them and to them?
Mm-hmm.
No. So if there is no fault, is it still relevant to believe in the same beliefs you believed at 8? Now, as you are 48, is it still relevant? And also, I find the moments where they usually have a support system. I want you to think about, you didn't feel loved, you didn't feel wanted. Think about right now. And even there, I see the dog on the back, even their pets. I say, look at the pet. They are showing you how unconditionally you are loved. Because they are showing us every day the unconditional love. So usually people who have depression, they also have pets. And I connected. Look at your dog. When you come home, they wiggling their tail. They're so happy to see you. They depend on you. So how is that feeling that you are caring about someone? They're like, that's a nice feeling. I love my dog, or I love my cat, or I love my child, or I love my partner, right? So there is always something to connect. There is always, and if there is none, which I've been in a very difficult situation and people have no one, then we become the loving parent. That I'm doing okay, but you have you. So it's, of course, it takes longer for me. What I have noticed, it takes more sessions when there is no support system for the client. But I was like, but you came here. You came here, which means that you're already, there is deep inside, hope is there. So we try to do that healing, becoming a loving parent to yourself. That's beautiful.
What's something that surprised you in your own healing journey? And was there a moment where that old you never would have thought that you'd be in this place now?
In my own journey, what surprised me is the desire of the ego to stay in the familiar patterns. How much ego doesn't want to let go of identities.
It's like a death grip.
It's like a death grip. Life or death. That's why we feel the panic. Sometimes clients come to me, they already feel anxiety or panic attack because they know we're going to let go of something. The ego is preparing. I was like, that's okay. That's your ego. It's preparing to. How much the words that I say after I am impact me. How much the words after my affect me. When people say my anxiety, my depression, I would say, well, subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. If it doesn't know the difference, how do you think your mind and your body is reacting to the my depression? Just like my child, my money, my house. Do you want to let it go? No. So if you say my anxiety, my depression, my allergy, my autoimmune, my cancer, the mind owns it. Don't own things that you don't want to own. And so,
but hold on, mic drop. Say that one more time.
Do not own the things that you don't want to own.
Wow.
Because
that's going to be on the quote card. I'm just telling you right now. That is so simple, but so freaking powerful.
Exactly. And that's what surprised me, how much I say my. Oh, my period, or PMDD, my PMDD, right? Or my PCOS, or my, whatever my cancer, my autoimmune, my allergy, my headaches. We own it, and then we want to get rid of it. So how? The mind gets very confused. Imagine your body is listening to your thoughts, and it is listening all the time. So your body is like, so you want to let go our headaches? Why? It's our headaches. It's like our money, our income, our job, our love. So that's the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. So we need to be careful what we say after my and what we say after I am, because what we say after I am, it becomes the ego's identity. I am an anxious person, or I'm a depressed person. I'm ADHD person, whatever. Everything you say after I am is going to follow you.
I am a good person. I am love. I am kind. I am a great parent.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I noticed was the clients. That was my insight about me, how much I hold on to it, and how much I see that in the clients as well. How they want to let go, get rid of something, but they own it.
So let's talk about that. So many people are scared to go there, though, and really get into it and deal with their trauma. How do you help people move through fear of that and into the healing process without re-traumatizing them?
Usually people do not come to me when they're not ready. I have very little clients who come to me and is like, oh, I don't want to look into the childhood trauma. They usually come to me because they know what hypnotherapy is. They know
they
that
are
it's
ready.
They're ready. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
People, if I see on a consultation call that they're like, you know what? I want to be calm, but I don't want to deal with the childhood trauma. I was like, okay, can you tell me the reason?
Mm-hmm.
Is there because it's too painful? Because whatever we suppress, it's a champagne bottle that's been shaken all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You open and it's going to, some people say, I don't want to look into it. I don't want to look into it. And then one day they find themselves not being able to get out of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
We know that pain is a language of the body. The body has only one language. It's symptom.
Mm-hmm.
How can your body talk to you in symptoms?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have pain, it means that we have been shuffling something under the carpet for too long. So when people come to me and I say, we are going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a choice right now. I'm going to send you the link for the session. I want you to really think about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they usually, if they are not ready, they just don't book the time with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If people say, Kate, I really want to, but I'm so scared, which means that we can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
If they say, I don't want to, because it's going to re-traumatize myself, they don't book.
Mm-hmm.
If clients come to me like, Kate, I really want to feel better, but I'm so scared. We work on this fear. You're like, where is this fear?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, it's just this fear that I'm going to feel worse. And I was like, okay, imagine you are having a wisdom tooth that is hurting so much. And you come to the dentist and the dentist is telling you, you know what? We're not going to take it out right now. You're going to come every Friday for 6 months. And we're going to pull it a little bit. Just a little bit. And maybe give you some pain medication. It's not going to help that much. But come to us for 6 months and maybe in 6 months, we will be able to pull it out. Mm-hmm. What a client will say, get that out. I'm ready to experience a sharp pain, but get it out. Mm-hmm. That's how I tell the clients about the hypnotherapy.
Physical pain versus emotional pain, like there is just such a big divide between them and what people are willing to deal with. And physical pain, or like not deal with, but like rectify and make better, they would rather deal with physical pain, I think, than the emotional.
Exactly. Yes. Emotional pain is just, it's hard to put into words. Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain it. They are afraid that, what if it's not working? I better not try. So people who experience resistance, I send them the video. I made videos for them about the myths about hypnosis. I make a lot of videos for clients to help them understand my approach better. So it's very important when people don't come to RTT for me, they come to me. So I ask them, please, watch my videos, watch my YouTube channel, get to know me before you come work with me. That's going to create a better connection for us. I'm going to do my 150%. But I would love your 100 as well. Mm-hmm. So when they feel the resistance, if they're ready, they will tell me about this resistance. We kind of work on that. I ask them a couple of questions. What are you experiencing now? What is the cost of not doing anything? What is the cost of, because I like abreactions. Abreactions is the deep relieving the trauma. Because that's actually, it's just the therapist needs to know how to get people out of the abreaction, how to reframe it, how to integrate it, right? And people in abreaction, they actually, it's like watching a movie for a second time or the third time. It's not, it's less and less and less. So it depends. A lot of clients I've had that didn't go to that memory, the most traumatic memories. We don't need to go to the memory. We need to go to the belief about yourself. Clients can come to the memory 10 years ago that is far away from the childhood trauma. But in that belief, they also formed, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. So our main thing is to work on thoughts and beliefs. If they go to the memory, their mind needs to go there. But it is a brain surgery for sure.
It's brain surgery. One of the beliefs that I have is that healing, and this is through my own work now that I've done, is that it doesn't have to be hard all the time. It can be beautiful too. How do you bring beauty or lightness into the deep work that you do?
I love to reframe the pain in this way. When they are like, well, I had so much pain. I had so much pain. And I was like, what are you doing to your kids right now? They're like, oh, I tell them that I love them so much. I hug them because I've never been hugged. So what did you turn pain into? Into love. They love it. The clients in hypnotherapy, and when they're relaxed, I was like, and now look at that pain and look what you turned it into. You turned it into love. Because look how you treat other people. Look that you decided not to do what was done to you. And they love it. They so love it, So that's like turning that pain. I always say, let's turn post-traumatic stress disorder into post-traumatic growth. And they're like, yes, let's do it.
Absolutely. If someone is listening and thinking that maybe RTT is what I need, what's one small step that they can take today to begin reconnecting with their own healing journey?
They need to know, to see what have they been doing so far. If they have never tried any sort of healing, right? Then they can start with therapy, coaching. I love coaching, like love it in general, right? People can start with any method because usually we never know what's going to work for the client. We think, as a hypnotherapist, I had this belief the first couple of years that I can do something to help them. I can do something to help them. But I realized that it's not. I'm just creating the space for them to do the healing. So I always recommend people keep searching. Keep looking. Watch the videos about RTT if people are interested in hypnotherapy. Educate yourself that it's safe, that it's not an entertainment hypnosis that is done for entertainment purposes. That is therapeutic hypnosis is completely different from the hypnosis that is on stage hypnosis, let's just say.
Right.
So people, when they separate it, they're more willing to look into it.
Well, if people want to work with you, they can go here and check you out. There's Kate's website and Kate's Instagram. I definitely know that people are going to want to reach out to you and see if you're a fit for them for their healing journey. And just based on today, I will be contacting you. So,
oh, so nice to hear.
I end every episode asking my guest what they are grateful for. What are you grateful for today, Kate?
Today, I'm grateful for my family. They're all, by the way, at home today. It's Tuesday, and they're all at home. And it's kind of the most wonderful feeling. having them at home. The one didn't go to school, another one, the daycare is closed. My husband is working from home. So it's a really nice feeling that it's a
Oh,
work day.
yeah.
I have sessions, but at the same time, knowing that they are home and like just embracing that feeling is wonderful. Super
Oh,
grateful for that.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing your heart and your gift with us today. And to anyone listening, if you felt something shift in you during this conversation, that's not an accident at all. Maybe it was a sentence that cracked something open. Maybe it was a quiet knowing that you're finally ready to heal. Let yourself sit with that. Put a hand on your heart and take a breath and know that you're not broken. You're remembering who you are. And if this conversation spoke to you, please be sure to check out Kate's work or find her beautiful, empowering posts on Instagram at kate.semeniuk. And if you want more support, I've created tools to walk alongside you as well, guided meditations, workshops, and of course, my upcoming Healing Heart Retreat. You can find them all at tiffcarson.com because you don't have to heal alone. I'm here with you, and Kate is here with you. Thank you, Kate, so much for being here today. I'm truly grateful for everything that you shared with us.
Thank you, Tiff, for inviting me. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for being here for this episode of Hard, Beautiful Journey. I hope today's episode inspired you to embrace your own vulnerabilities and recognize the strength within you. Remember, every story of resilience adds to the beauty of our shared journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. Your support helps me spread hope and healing to even more listeners. Until next time, keep shining your light and embracing the beauty in your journey. Bye-bye.